Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, amazing Propagandacast from your host from Pearl Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda, the legend, or so they say. Off here to a 1v1 on Vilshanka. In the west it is Treadz, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, the American dream. Here with the 6th Armored Division tasked with breaking through the German lines under the command here of Hauptmann Gena, fighting for the German Army, Deutschland. Here with the 9th Panzer Division here featuring Elite Troops, Defensive and Mechanized Assault versus Recon Support, Airborne and Infantry with Treadz. Triple Anti-Tank on here versus Double Infantry and Panzerfaust. Gunner the MD42 versus the Rifleman Start. Quick wire here in the center here from Treadz. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my page supporters, these champions and heroes of the propaganda ministry who keep me supported through thick and thin. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon and supporting the Propagandacast or donating via the PayPal. Links in the description. And also commenting and liking, sharing the video, talking about it, pressing the bell button if you subscribe helps me out a lot as well there. Keeps the YouTube algorithm from trying to get the videos to as many people as possible. Treadz commits to Airborne, a popular command as always, with Pathfinders, 50 cal machine guns, paratroopers, anti-tank guns, and the P-47 rocket strafe. Leaving only Gena here to then choose either Elite Troops, Defensive, or Mechanized Assault. We'll have to see which of these two he goes for. We got the gun using northwards there. Ralph's got moving towards the centre here as well. North side securing the fuel pond there for freedom and democracy. South side secured, and we got early Pathfinders here for Treadz. Not as early as they could have been, but nonetheless early here to put pressure on those goddamn Krauts. Rifleman secure in the centre. The task of Pathfinders, by the way, will basically do these paratroopers dropped ahead of major paradrops to secure the terrain, set up beacons so they could that way help the major landings, be more accurate and, more safe on paper. For example, doing Normandy. Turns out most of the time that they didn't quite work out like that, but they tried. Note they were not also the only specialists the Airborne had. They were also known as, I think, the Dirty 13 or dozen or something like that. Something, a number, and they're a bunch of dirty bastards. Can't quite remember there, but basically sort of these, explosive specialists that sort of also meant to help deal with certain things, sort of assault engineers, if you will, amongst the paratroopers. Gonna use this Ralph squad here. Ralph squad immediately loses Lewis as he charges straight into the Gonna squad number 2 coming up here as well. Forces Treadz retreat there. Pioneers went the centre straight to the Pathfinders. 3rd Gonna squad there for Gena on the way. So far, standard stuff. Sun's point is caught by the Rifleman. MD42 joining against the Pathfinders there with the MD42. They won't be able to hold the position for much longer. Pathfinders typically better supporting either in one-on-one engagement, which point they typically have the advantage here versus the alone unupgraded Grenadier squad, or supporting a larger engagement. They are typically absolutely not suited for being outnumbered, in particular not those situations. So, captain on the way there for Treadz. Interesting decision there. Again, there's been certainly a notable increase in just American players of late going for the captain in 1v1s as well. Typically, the lieutenant's being the most dominantly chosen of the two there, but as of late there's definitely been a notable increase in American players going for the captain. Sneaking up towards the side of the fuel plant, I think that's clever, even though as Gena here is threatening Treadz fuel supply himself with a good German push there with his infantry, though some of the bit depleted here. Oh, he's sneaking up on the calf point and sneaking up behind here. Ooh, not going for the fuel, bro, was just looking to go for deep flank here. A sickle cut, if you will, around Gena's front line there. That's definitely not bad. There, Pathfinders moving in. It's obviously looking to slow down the Germans. Using the Pathfinder's going to probably be the best choice against the dug-in Germans, since again, the marksman rifles don't really care about the Germans being in cover. Down to one man there. Pathfinder's caught there. Captain out there for Treadz, and will most likely at the BAR, there we go, the Browning automatic rifle. So some sneaky harassment here from Treadz, even though as Gena's doing the same. Some nice aggressive play from both sides, and of course the MD42 being used aggressively, which, it was what it was designed for. Even the tripod, you'd figure, oh, that's meant for defensive fighting, but no. The heavy tripod, the tripod mode there for the MD42 was actually meant to support during attacks. If it came to defensive fighting, well, technically the gunner was supposed to actually pick the machine gun off the tripod, switch to a bipod, and then use it there. So, captain push back. There, the MD42 crew. 4th Grenadier squad for Gena, again so far fairly standard and Wehrmacht better game, heading the fuel pond there, and so far Gena is just not really caring about that, it seems like, which is noteworthy. Ambulance out there, 4th Grenadier squad on the way, take down though. Could also consider something like a Panzer Grenadier squad here versus Treadz, to be honest, rather than a 4th Grenadier squad here. I think that would have been a more than fair move. No sign of upgrades on the Grenadiers yet. Liaisons are close being marked here by Gena's Grenadier. Finish was the rifle squad there. Fuel point secured, though he still needs the carve point there, so neither side is really getting a lot of fuel. In fact, they're not really getting any resources at the moment because both players have been effectively cut off from all of the resources for the time being. That's quite amazing. So there you go, going for the mechanized command post there, probably an anti-aircraft half-tech or at least some pack cards here for Treadz, and of course, thanks to Airborne, he can still get 50 counts, he just needs to paradrop them, which is again just why Airborne tends to be a fairly favoured commander for a lot of players, even in 1v1, simply because you can just, you know, go for either lieutenant or captain, and you're not that punished, because again, you can always just drop like the key weapon, which is typically the 50 cal or the anti-tank gun. So, bit noteworthy there. Still no commander from Gena though, which definitely stands out because a lot of them really want you to pick it as soon as you can actually like take advantage of it, like, you know, Elite Troops with the Stormtroopers, the G35, like stun grenades and Panzertischen, defensive with the Ostorben in theory and stuff like that, and of course mechanized assault for the assault grenadiers, maybe the early mechanized assault groups there. So it is noteworthy here that again with all of these, shall we say, early pick commanders, you have to pick anyone. Treadz, they're going for the pack howitzer. Would like to make a nice comment for Gena alongside the medic bunker. Quite a spicy situation, but now Treadz is definitely control the map here. Armored car that should help disrupt things here in the favour of Gena and Deutschland. Last squad they're being mowed up with the MG42. I mean, there's been machines been getting quite a bit around. It was up here, now it's down here. I mean, he's definitely not just parking at one spot and deciding, you know, that's fine. So thumbs up there to Gena. Pack cards are nearly done here for Treadz. Morgan is arriving. Worth noting, I don't think he's yet had the resource to upgrade any of them light machine guns, which is great for Treadz. Almost losing the route squad to the MG42, which again is quite good against retreating units as well. Close call there, but not quite. But now we have the armored cart giving here Gena definitely a bit more mobile firepower on the front line here. And Treadz there has also, by the way, airdropped the 50 cal as all this happened. Crucially note he's using the Pathfinders because the Pathfinders themselves have a spotting bonus or lightning of sight bonus compared to regular infantry, so by using them to crew the 50 cal, you get a 50 cal that can make full use of its range of fire, which most machine gun crews normally cannot. So, bit of a sneaky little bit there. But he probably should start upgrading his troops soon, and I definitely would recommend a commander as well at some point here for Gena to actually take advantage of them. Though the longer it takes, I mean, the more likely it's going to be either mechanized assault or Elite Troops, which honestly it is either way, because at this point I doubt it's going to go for defensive, so it's likely either Elite Troops or mechanized assault. The question is just like, you know, which of the two really is it? Like, which kind of flavor tiger does he want, I suppose it effectively is. Bright yellow with smoke, or, you know, more affordable. 5th cal there flanked by the M42. Though in this case getting bombarded by the pack howitzer dust force here. Genda's retreats machine gun there. And we do get Panzer gun. No, cancels it. Huh. Panzer squad I think would have a good addition, unless you say planning for Elite Troops or mechanized assault group, either for the Stormtroopers or a mechanized assault group, which of course also going to give him the Panzer Grenadiers. And to take the airdrop here for Treadz. Oh, he is going for the Panzer Grenadiers after all. Seems like Gena can't quite make up his mind here versus those for Dante Amerikanen. Armored car charging the Pathfinders. They're finding their position pretty much rendered naught as the armored car tears into them with the autocannon traction machine gun, leaving them dead in the dirt. Panzer Grenadier squad almost done there. This is also caused noteworthily push Gena at 5 infantry squad. That's going to be quite an infantry force here, and with only like 4 squads, it's going to be a bit challenging for Treadz to deal with. Also, I think we've finally seen some upgrades for the Grenadiers. Sehr good. So yeah, 4 Grenadiers and then the Panzer squad to like do some of the more heavy attacks. I think is a really good combination there for Gena. Panzer setting up the machine as well. They got Telemines down here from Gena. Point this seized. 5th cal out. Grab the anti-tank gun. Got the armored cars rifle squad. Few near-miss rifle squad. The Pathfinders. Northern point secured. I'm using Southwards. Fifth cal holding up there. Pack 40 there for Gena. The Panzer up there can only field sick, but still no commandant for Gena and the 9th Panzer Division. Treadz and the 6th Armored though continues to tear ahead for America. Feel like you get a bit closer with the Pentagonist, to be honest there. Bit closer. South there pushed back as Treadz deploys a lot of firepower there. There we go, Ravscourt backing out there, the back entrance from the church, and then takes them right past the Pentagon squad anyways. With the armored car joining in, there's a definite chance of white people with a bit of luck, but no, Gena does not pursue. Part because the anti-tank is giving a warning shot. More likely it missed, but that's the official American account. That was a warning shot, guys. Still no commander there for Gena. Ravscourt there as the gunnies in the centre, pushing them back. Gena slowly getting map control here versus Treadz and the Americans. Cancel the Pack 40s, going for it again. Seems like Gena can't quite make up his mind there. A bit like with the Pentagon, he's like trying to assess his options and situation. Meanwhile, Treadz is just rushing ahead here. Gonna push with some medium armor at a fast pace. I'd say that is a pretty clever maneuver. Bit of skirmishing in the south. And is then narrowly avoiding getting blasted into oblivion by the pack out of there. Panzer's holding up here. That really should be a grenadier squad lamp machine, I think, doing that job that the Panzers, I think. I mean, they can still obviously do some good damage to the assault rifles, but I don't feel like this is necessarily the most efficient use of them. Grenadiers armored car taking a bit more through the centre. Pathfinder's a bit blocking the way. There we go. Probably have to go for the Ravscourt here. And there you go. Geballte Ladung. Forcing with Ravscourt, they almost wipe them out. Reinforcing, no tech yet for Gena, and still no commander. Meanwhile, Treadz is getting very close here to a Sherman tank here versus the Germans, but he is losing a lot of ground meanwhile though, and those Pentagon leaders with 6 killed veterans, one of say has already done a fair good job there for the German army. Pathfinder's close to being exploded into nothingness for the armoured car. Pioneers and Troll coming up, backed up the captain. Pioneers there quickly getting out of there. Machine guns letting hold forts here for Gena once more. Bindings will take there for the Germans, but still no commander. Treadz, though, income has been significantly cut in half, in fact, not more than that, as he's barely getting a resource now, slowing down the tank significantly, whereas it increases Gena's tank pace effectively very fast as well. Panzer, they're finally falling back. They haven't grabbed more than fuel point, but can't hold the position. Taking up with the 5th cal backing all of that up, so I would say Gena there makes the correct decision, disengaging with the Pentagon rather than, you know, risk losing them. Probably should do the same with the MG42, honestly. Could fix up the Yamaka. Another Pack 40 for Gena. Definitely has me thinking mechanized assaulty and a Tiger tank. I mean, theoretically, it could also be like Elite Troops and a Tiger Ace Stall. But I feel like the timing here for like a second Pack 40, and the fact he hasn't shown the command yet, kind of has me thinking he might be trying to stall into something. It's that he's really concerned about getting hit by a Sherman tank. That is, of course, another possibility there. But there's definitely some players who have a tendency like to go for the heavy tanks, and I'm more used to that. The south, another push for Treadz, freedom and democracy. Troops reinforced it up, armoured car fixed up, no sign of the Supomo yet here for Gena or any tech, and of course he starts to show the command up north. The major there is being met with major assistance from the Gundiers. In fact, he's down to half health, and that is quickly dropping down. We got more Gundiers arriving. Got almost all of the Gundiers equipped with light machine guns, and there we go. We do get the Supomo core, so clearly just more of a concern about the possibility of being hit by a Sherman before he's got his own tanks out then. Which I can't fault him for. In this case, though, I think perhaps a bit too concerned, a bit perhaps excessive there, but, you know, better safe than, you know, with a Sherman tank up your nose. Panzer, they're pushing through the assault there, but artillery fire, of course, is making things fairly hazardous. Machine support T, armor car, and entertainment reserve, and there you go. Treadz is going for the Sherman. Gena, though, is not firing from a Panzer IV, though of course he could rush out the Stug if he wanted to. Panzer dealing with them Pathfinders, but the Pathfinders deal with them first. Worth noting, by the way, Treadz is actually floating quite a bit of munitions, could go for some weapon racks. Also worth noting, he's actually lost a rifle squad. This really means now that Gena has a significant infantry advantage over Treadz, by the way, with just effectively 3 squads versus the opponents, again, 5, and again, worth noting, 4 of them are upgraded Grenadier squads with a light machine gun, and 1 is a Panzer Grenadier squad. So not like, you know, it's Osthoven that Treadz is up against here. Armored car, they're falling back. There we go, Panzer IV for Gena and the 9th Panzer Division. North going into the top of the building here. Using the light machine to give those men under the captain a bit of a rough time. Well, they do have a bit of light cover which helps out a bit. And now we got the Sherman in as well there. Grenadiers will have to escape here through the back door. Well, 2 of them will have to escape. The other 2 are dead as a high explosive shell went straight through the window and blew them apart. Panzer IV almost done. Note he's trying to like this if he can't bait the Sherman towards here before making the retreat, since otherwise he risks just getting blasted in retreat. But if he can sort of get the Sherman to like take one way or around there, he can sort of more easily save the Grenadiers in the retreat path here. But yeah, Treadz bringing more troops in, that pretty much I think undercuts it. So while it was a nice attempt, I think anything a bit too slow about it. I don't think the result will be a wipe here unless he gets very lucky. He did not. At least he didn't get the worst luck and drop the machine as well here for Treadz to use against him. Panzer IV in the move, adding the pinler-mounted MG-32, and still no commander here for Gena. I mean, this part of me says it's more likely mechanized assault, but it could still like be elite troops, not just for the Tiger race, but also the Panzer Tactician. And obviously, concussor grenades are still also quite handy versus the Americans. Another anti-tank here for Treadz in response to arrival of the Panzer IV. Captain under fire, or perhaps he was just worried about something heavier here than a Panzer IV. Like he hadn't seen anything out of Gena for some time, so it could be that Treadz was, you know, concerned until he saw the Panzer IV that, you know, his opponent might try and like be rushing out a Panther, in which case he will need more anti-tank guns for now. But ultimately, we can't really tell there what Treadz was thinking at that very moment. Deep raid here from Gena with the Panzer IV diving into the opponent's base, striking Treadz from an angle he never saw coming. My God, the Krauts, they're flanking. That's gotta be against some kind of convention. Yeah, the idiot convention. Shut up, Carl, I'll shoot you and blame it on the Germans. Oh. Ambulance away there for Treadz. Well, that was a really sneaky flank there, honestly. Thumbs up there to Gena, but still no commander for Gena. Thumbs down for Gena. In the center we've got the major heroes, the Grenadier light machine gun versus, well, carbines. In the south we got the Panzer versus Rifle Squad there. Wiped an anti-tank gun crew, I think, here somewhere. Artillery called in by the majors, who's trying to kill a German withdrawal. Almost got the Rifle Squad, and he does get the wipe, meaning Treadz is down just a captain, and the Pathfinder is effective in terms of infantry, and that is massive. And the captain get wiped out as well there. Treadz is down to next to no infantry as the opponent with 4 infantry squads. That is pretty dangerous here for Treadz, actually. Like, he needs to make up for these infantry losses soon. Again, of course, needs to pick a commander soon. At this point, my instincts are definitely telling me it's going to be like mechanized assault. There we go, another Panzer IV. At least he's not just stalling in for the Tiger tank. But Treadz really needs to like make up for these losses soon. Of course, Gena needs to fix up his Panzer IV, which he's hard at work with. Very good. Pathfinder smarts in the center there. So what will Treadz be going for next? Another Sherman, infantry, paratroopers. I mean, there are plenty of options here for Treadz though versus Gena, but so far he does not seem to be exploring them. And Gena's also got a lot of options he's just not exploring either. Another Sherman for Treadz it is. Second Panzer around there for Gena and Deutschland. Fifth gun setting up here, got the Gunners pencils right in front of his line of fire. First Panzer we're good to go, second one joining in the fun. There you go in the centre, Panzer is routed by the Sherman loading its high explosive shells. But now we got Gena's Panther Force on the move here, backed up the anti-tank gun, proving to be a significant threat here for Treadz, who is again already like in a pretty tight position unit-wise versus Gena's large at this point numbers. Definitely a bit dangerous here. Definitely a bit dangerous. Second Sherman almost on it for Treadz. Plus, he does have the P-foots and rocket strafe ready, so if we could like combine this for like a, I think, good attack here. Could perhaps like turn the chart once more versus Gena. Buy himself some more breathing space. But of course, a mistake for Treadz could cost him the game. Sherman's the Panther's gone there. He does call in the P-47 just to like increase the chance of getting that Panther 4 wiped out, committing a lot of resources, almost losing his Sherman in the process. But we do get explosion there. Will the P-47 finish it off here? Ah, such a close call there. Instead, the munitions just ended up not really doing a lot there. That is huge here for Gena. I mean, that just pretty much means the opponent just tossed out 225 munitions straight down the toilet. That is a humongous resource waste. Can use some of things like a lot better, like bazookas, bars, upgrades for paratroopers like light machine guns and Thompsons. Instead, he got nothing, sod all. And he might even lose a Sherman out. This is point blank miss. He's trying to use this rain here to save him. It looks like he almost gets the Sherman out of there. Talk about a close call here for both sides. In the end, I do think Treadz came out of this slightly worse because, again, I stress, 220 man, 25 munitions, not manpower, but munitions just straight out the window. Finally, they're calling in some paratroopers, just tragically, he doesn't have the resource to upgrade them. So, where's the munitions to upgrade us with? Don't ask. The Nazis stole them. The Nazis? Yeah. How? Top secret. But still no commander here for Gena. Honestly, not entirely sure what he's planning, but again, my instincts would say elite or mechanized assault. Oh, never mind, it actually is elite troops. With the stun grenades, stormtroopers, G-43s, Panzer Tactician, and the Tiger Race. Might even be gone for that a bit sooner though. There's some G-43s here and there. We're just going for them for the Panzer Grenadiers now. Not a huge fan of that. You could still call in the Stormtrooper squad just to add some infantry, but I think at this point, Gena might of course be looking then just for the Tiger Race, but he does need to maintain a manpower reserve. Though, of course, having to maintain such a vast manpower reserve plus saving up the fuel for it could give Treadz more time to actually say turn the match around in his favour, though it will certainly be a bit of a challenge. But again, with Gena going for the Tiger Race most likely, it is doable, but it's going to be a challenge. Now they got the G-50s from the Panzer Grenadier. Paratrooper was the Panzer Grenadier. We got rough grenade off there. Oh. Nicely dodged. Gets him good for the light machine guns. So of course it could go for the Thompsons. Or in a pinch could go for the bazookas. Got also they're clearing out those paratroopers. North Germany engaging the northern German positions. Second Sherman is still being repaired back at base. Very sensible decision, repaired all the way back there. Don't want to save the Germans running off the Shermans. Oh, we do get stormtroopers here though from Gena. Oh my, he's active to fast quarter adding the MP40s. Thumbs up. So yeah, he's maintaining, I think, a strong infantry composition here. Though he probably should treat the stormtroopers here. And I also feel like this infiltration has been part of like a bigger assault. That's typically when you're calling in the stormtroopers like this is the most effective. Like, you know, they're already dealing with your frontal assault, and then suddenly there's a bunch of stormtroopers behind them doing damage. When you just call in there and like there's nothing else going on, it becomes much easier for the storms to be dealt with. And in fact, almost lose the stormtroopers here, so bit of a piece of advice there for like maximizing your stormtrooper infiltration. There you go, got one. So yeah, Gena there could have done that a lot better. Again, the key part here was, again, nothing else was happening when he called them in, which made it very easy for Treadz to just focus them down. So keep that in mind when calling your stormtroopers in those situations. Preferably do it as part of a larger assault, so that way the stormtroopers are suddenly like, you know, a really disruptive nuisance they also have to deal with while they're still dealing with the front line. That typically allows the stormtroopers the most chance to do damage, while also decreasing the chance of them getting murdered by responding fire. Whereas again here, you know, they easily got murdered without doing too much because it was easy for Treadz just to focus on them. Another Sherman there for Treadz. Level 2 goes for another stormtrooper squad. Part of me does hope for it, but he may decide not to bother. Sherman halfway down there. Panther 4 shoots. Veteran 2-1 gained. Sherman getting the Grenadiers there. Pack shots going off here. Panther 4 taking nasty hit from the 6 of the M1 anti-tank, and up north is Sherman being pushed back. Another hit on the Panther 4 here. We got 378 versus 245. I mean, Gena's definitely leading in terms of victory points here over the Americans. But yeah, he's definitely setting up for that Tiger race. He needs 720 manpower, which he has, and he also needs 250 fuel, which he doesn't. And also the heavy Panther squad, which doesn't have either. Going for more pioneers, since having that many tanks, of course, does require more pioneers, especially with this planning for that Tiger race anyways. Halfway to the east level, those G33 Panzergrenadier of the 2nd Panzergrenadier Company. And we got some paratroopers out here for Treadz. Another squad there, making up for his losses with some more elite. Got light machines to the first squad, and again, I imagine the second squad will also see light machine guns being added to them. Up northeast, Sherman counterattacking. We got packs and grenadiers there, plus Panzer there, pushing back the Sherman there. Treadz in a bit of an awkward position once more with the Germans. So that is 2 paratroop squads there for Treadz. Just doing a bit of first healing aid hit there, and the Panther squad there definitely in need of that, and then the Necromancer for the rest. There we go, heavy Panther got for Gena. I mean, he could also just go straight for the Panther here, or a Storm Panzer. Honestly, I think that'd be a bit better in the Tiger race, but it does seem like he is very focused on that Tiger race. He certainly does have the force, like, I think, make it work, but he needs to be careful about not getting too passive either, because it will make it easy for Treadz, like, you know, set up to, like, to actually fight against it. Right from there, he gets the paratroopers. Didn't do too much, but the paratroopers are still in a pretty bad position. Panther 4 setting out halfway to Destiny 2. Pathfinder's caught out in the open. Can lose nearby with the LMG-42. Further north there, Grenadier slowly falling back here. Troop reinforcing healing there for Gena and Deutschland. Getting him close to that Tiger tank, or Tiger Ace to be specific. Treadz paratroop squad there is almost fully reinforced already. Sherman heading northwards. He's being blasted with the Sherman. Pack 4 lands a good hit in return. And the centre of the Sherman Russian forward, disrupting his mine laying there. Great luck there for Treadz. Sherman almost knocked out, which is a lot less great there from up north. Sherman then with the damaged engine forced to fall back. There's one Sherman still to go, and of course 2 anti-tanks backing all up, pushing back the Panther 4. They're almost destroying it. Definitely a bit painful there for Gena. He's almost there in terms of the Tiger race, but actually has too many units, so he also needs to, like, somehow, you know, lose some units in a way that isn't complete waste. So a bit sticky there for Gena. Otherwise, again, if he just sticks around for too long with other resources, then he'd been much better off just going for a Panther Sturmpanzer. Like, the Sturmpanzer would be great for just blasting in from the support weapons. The Panther would be good for the psychological threat of just in making the Sherman look less impressive. Because the Panther doesn't do a lot of damage, in a sense, for its cost. Looks like there might be something being lined up here. But yeah, he's nearly there with the targets, but again, has too many units. Cannot call it in. Though players here look to have somewhat the same idea with this small southern corner of the map here. That said, again, is clearly a bit more prepared with 2 anti-tank guns, and Treadz only got 1 Sherman, but this Sherman is definitely going to have the engagement here. Spots the anti-tank guns on the other end of the house and decides, you know what, I got better places to be. Pathfinder stretching forwards. Can upgrade his second pair to squad now, by the way, here. And I'm expecting more light machine guns. Is just such a common choice. But again, the Thompsons are really good, in particular with tactical assault. It is an amazing ability. Gena is just, flooding resources because, again, he really wants the Tiger Race, but, he doesn't want to, sacrifice anything for it either, so he just ends up flooding resources, but he needs to be calling in more stuff, which gives Treadz more time to bring in his own stuff. And at this point, he probably has a fairly good idea as to what Gena is playing at, so that means, more time to, take up prepared counters for that. Now we've got the Sherman challenge in the base here. Gena, that's going to be a bit painful there for Treadz. I mean, there's so many units bunched up. All in just one big heat there. 32 than Sherman, close 53. Bunker being hammered. Panther almost knocked out here. Panther, they give me 2 packs firing away there wildly. Ooh, better more pathing here. Might actually use the Sherman here without destroying anything under Gena's command. Sherman gaining 82. The Panther is close being knocked out as well. Other Shermans is engaging. That ended up being a bit of a weird experience there to just watch. Felt like it was close for Treadz to do something, but in the end didn't do it. And now Gena's still also, even the amount of you gotten the kills, it just immediately, result of the Tiger Race being summoned forth. So it's like, might actually be better for Treadz not to do the damage. Perhaps it's also why he realized there's hang on, if my opponent is going for a Tiger Race and he hasn't called it in, maybe that's because he can't call it in. So if I destroy his stuff inside his base, I'm going to be in trouble. So yeah, I mean, that would be a pretty, sensible line of thought. That set, though, again, Gena seems to be also he doesn't want to be too aggressive, and again, he's really in the position to be the most aggressive now. He's got plenty of reason, going to be calling the Tigers when he loses something. So then, basically just add momentum to his assault. But he's afraid of doing so. So Gena ends up in this really weird, conflicting decision loop, where he's just, making things, worse for himself, but better for his opponent. Because it gives Treadz more time to bulk up his own forces in preparation for a possible Tiger Race. If, again, Treadz is actually operating with that as a possibility. I mean, he could be he's some really, pig-headed commanders no, they're not going to call in a Tiger Race, it's big and yellow. Who wants big and yellow tanks? No one. Major up north here was the Panther 4. Yeah, Gena's just flaying so many resources. He should just, hit hard and accept some minor casualty, then just follow up with the Tiger Race, and I think they were a killing blow here to Treadz. Preparing for the southern fuel point, Panther rolling in there. 40 opening up the Sherman. Pioneer's in trouble. Looks like a more focused push in the centre here from Treadz, cutting off resources, denying them here to Gena and the Germans. He's actually very close to the Tiger Race now. He just needs to suffer one more minor loss. Oh, he's going to go for the base. Or perhaps not. Again, it's really hard to tell. Is Treadz really expecting the Tiger Race? Because at this point, again, he really should be expecting it, though. But again, it may just be that Treadz isn't considering it. Cannot rule that out. Again, he just keeps replacing his losses. Panther rushing from the north here. He could run into the Treadz tank and be possibly knocked out there. 301% 97. North, he got the paratroopers back, the Grenadier there. Unit wiped out. He's down to just paratroopers now as infantry. That's it for Treadz. Calling in a Pathfinder squad. There goes Sherman to the Panther 4. Other Panther return from the north. 5th counting trouble there. East level gained. Almost got the Panther 4 there, but the Sherman's under fire from a lot of German entertainment taking up on the German Panther 4. Lots of bouncing shots there. Lucky for Gena. Or unlucky, depending on your perspective. Balance at this point, I mean, if he just needs called in a lot of medium armor, still have resources almost there for the touch. There you go. Finally got the Panther 4. And with that, Gena finally gets to press the button, call in the Tiger Race. But again, run this having an attack which already pushing back. He's doing it more like a defensive, so it may not be able to gain as much momentum further as he would like to. Definitely a bit weird again we're in the position where we really need to be aggressive and place defensively, and it just ends up making, his Tiger Race effect in some ways less effective when it finally arrives. But either way, Tiger Race is out. You could probably go and lean a Stutt to back it up though, in Ostwind. I think that could be a fair idea. possibly some more infantry. Sending the Tiger Ace northwards. Those paratroopers are about to get a really bad experience. We've got more Pathfinders here. Apparently lost the previous squad to the Germans as well pretty fast. But there you go. Paratroopers sent packing by the Tiger Ace. We got 294s on 84. That said, Treadz still has a lot of tanks plus 2 anti-tank guns. So depending how Gena plays the Tiger Ace, I think Treadz has a fairly good chance of knocking me up pretty fast. Honestly. Because the Tiger Ace certainly will not be able to match like 3 Shermans in terms of raw firepower. And definitely not backed up by 2 and 1 anti-tank guns. So the question comes down to, will Gena allow his Tiger Ace to be isolated? Because if he does, boom, good night. But if he plays it smart there, I think he should have a good shot here. Panther playing close to the ace level there. So what is Gena playing it here? Shot bounce from the anti-tank gun. Also worth knowing the Tiger Ace hit to score a single kill. Wow, that was a miss from the Aegis on the south here. The Sham's going for the Panda 4. Clearing the ace from there you go. Panda 4 backing off pretty rapidly, and Treadz decides not to pursue. Oh, never mind, he does pursue, but not with his full armoured strength. And perhaps concerned about Pack 40s. Artillery fire in the centre. Could run some paratroop assist around here, I think. We got 294s on 73. Tiger Ace falling back with 2 kills to his name. Treadz with another Shem. That's going to put him a total of 4 Shermans. That's a lot of medium armor here. Meanwhile, Gena's all the way back at base, reinforcing. Got another medic bunker on the way there. Great hit from the pack house, actually punching through the Panther 4's armor. May want to grab that point there. Quite there. Oh, cancel the Sherman. Maybe he just wants to call in more infantry. Can't fault him for that. Panther being faced up can of course use the self-repair ability in the targets. I mean, he does have plenty of munitions to spare for it, so honestly that'd make a ton of sense for Gena. And the 9th Panzer Division. Reason was the Pack 40. Sherman fixed up. Just need to get it crewed up. Hey, did anyone forget the car keys? It's a tank. Well, did anyone forget the tank keys? Because I can't get into it. Panther 4, there's the paratroopers. Packouts fire there on Gena's base. Just, yeah, it looks like they forgot the bloody keys. Look, who wants to call Patton? Not me. Tiger is moving forward, staying engaging the Pathfinder's missing. Shows the move there. Finally got keys there, I guess. Anti-tank's moving in here. Ace Panther 4 by the way here for Gena. That's pretty good there. Blasting away all of Gena's supporting stuff with the Tiger Ace, with the Shem taking out from the Pack 40, which gains the ace level. Shots hammering off the Tiger Tank frontal armor, some active passing through the frontal armor there. Down to half health. Showing northward, directed hit from the Pack 40 straight for the side armor. Another hit, they're pushing down to half health. Anti-tanks enough, not helping things out by possibly blocking the retreat path. Try and pop take aim in the HVAP rounds here. On the MRPs and just got 7 rounds there to increase the chance of just punching hole through there. I'm actually surprised Treadz is not making use of that ability because honestly that ability is amazing. No, he's going for the air support again. Honestly, I think just popping these 2 abilities would be honestly much more cost efficient personally, but we shall see. Sherman arriving here, could take out the Panda 4. Tiger Ace having been caught here in a storm of rockets, could go down here, and there we go. I think the Tiger Ace is doomed. Up north, Ace Panda 4 taking out a huge blow here to Gena, which now stands to only take some heavy losses there. Got some losses there though as well for Treadz. Sherman down. There's still one to go. They're now being repaired. Gena's Tiger Ace made it back to the base here, but theoretically Treadz could send the Sherman in to try and finish off, and I think that's exactly what Treadz is doing. He's going for it. The crew is on it. Gonna raid that base, gonna kill that Tiger. if you can spot it. And there you go. I think he almost missed it there, but he did narrowly spot it here. We are going to see Panzerfaust won't matter there. There's an ace-type Sherman, and it's free, and there we go. The Tiger Ace is out. Gena is in trouble. He's going to need to replace his armored losses swiftly. Some Stugs, Panther 4s, I think, coming out here. He could theoretically just go for a Panther now, but he needs to go for something soon. He can't allow himself to be paralyzed in this particular scenario, as now Treadz is just riding ramshot all across Gena's front line here. He's pouring through, he's exploiting every mistake of Gena now. Every gap is torn apart. Every crack broken. Every opportunity exploited. Charging with those Shermans, both ace level, by the way. Both ace level. They may not be brat pits, but I can sure pass for them if you squint enough. Pack's being cleared out. He just, the sheer rate of fire on these Shermans now is just tearing apart Gena's infantry. And it seems like he is more or less paralyzed. He's not calling him more armor. He's actually trying to stall out for another Tiger Ace. Is he really that insane? I think he is. Like, I think he's actually trying to stall for another Tiger Ace, even with everything else falling apart. The meanwhile, Treadz is just churning out more Shermans. Because that works. I think that anti-tank actually hit his own Sherman there briefly. Those are the paratroopers there. But yeah, I think Gena is stalling for another Tiger Ace. Yeah, that is definitely a terrible call there, Saber Gena. Terrible. Considering the circumstances. Definitely not the decision to make there. Meanwhile, Treadz, I think he's just making the right call by just calling in more tanks. Like, you know, they're working great. He's only got 2 ace levels. Why not try to get more ace Shermans out there and just further crush the Germans? There you go, 3rd Sherman out. With a 4th one on the way. Bunker being hammered. But Gena is absolutely trying to get another Tiger Ace going here. Despite the Americans pretty much just kicking in the door and throwing in grenades to his headquarters, Gena is absolutely adamant he wants another Tiger Ace. And his command staff is just pleading him to call in any other tank at this point. Holy smokes. Has got to be the most obsessed Tiger Ace player here I've seen in some time. Even when his base is being leveled, he wants another Tiger Ace. He's floating so much manpower at this point as well. Like, he'd just be calling storm releases to try and like grab some points elsewhere. He's also going in for some deep infiltration moves with his troops. Seconds away from that new Tiger Ace. Up north there, Paratroopers about to get... Oh, Pathfinder's about to get wiped out. That's another wipe of them, by the way. More Shermans around the base, and there we go. 2nd Tiger Ace called in by Gena. He's still got like 700 manpower to spare, almost. I'd like to make a nice company just to the headquarters of the Heavy Pentacle and the Support Armor Corps. Tiger Ace on the move here. Treadz starting to pull back his tanks in response to that. North entering Corps with the Grenadiers. Misses the Sherman, that's a bit awkward. See, from that angle, since the Sherman was a pretty big target for a tank. Good shot there. Smokes from being deployed to screen the flanks against any possible intervention from there. Not a bad idea, and even then you can see despite having the targets, like, it's just so outnumbered, he's like concerned to use it, which I think further just highlights the folly of Gena trying to go for another Tiger Ace under the circumstances. Good shot there. Up north, troops being murdered, and there we go. GG, game over. I think Gena... Yeah, he loses the entire base. So GG, game over there. A rare annihilation victory here. in Camis 2's 1v1 competitive ranked mode. Hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell a family, but don't channel enemies. This is Imperial Lynch, and cheers. Thank you for watching. I've from again for a nice episode. Bye.